What's going on, guys? It is Connor, the co-host with the most of Clutch Crew Sports, back with another edition of the Lockboard. We are on week 7 of the Lockboard now. I've got Zach here with me. Eric, unfortunately, I forgot to do this. I forgot to do my signature holding up the fingers. Um, but yeah, I got Zach here with me. Eric, unfortunately, is still at work, so he couldn't be here for this, but he has submitted his picks onto our sheets, and we will find out momentarily what he picked for his picks. But recap of this current week here. Zach, with only 3 points on the week, but still in the lead with 28 points. Eric is still in second place with 26 with a 7-point week, so he made up some ground on Zach this week. And I am also still in last place, unfortunately, with 17 points. Another 7-point week for me as well. So Eric and I both making up 4 points on Zach this week, but still an 11-point gap from first to last. But Eric is definitely closing in, only 2 points behind Zach. I might have to end my alliance with him here after this because he's starting to gain ground on you, and I can't have him be the only one doing that. So
Yeah, Eric, that alliance is gonna be over pretty soon. But no, things are tightening up. This was a week everybody got points, nobody got a 0. Some 7s, which are pretty good, and the gap between first and third is closing too, which is good, I think. So
yeah, I definitely did not want to be stuck here like at the end of the year losing by 20 points or something. That would have been embarrassing.
yeah,
But like Zach said, yeah, it was definitely a very good week for us as a whole. We were a little under 50% on our picks, but some of these games on here that are red were also like really close games that came down to the end. So I'll go ahead and talk about my pick here. So my first pick was, of course, the one that I took to screw over Zach and Eric in terms of rooting interests. The Tennessee over Alabama, and thank the college football gods that Tennessee finally beat Alabama for the first time in 15 years. Zach is repping the merch over
yeah.
there.
Got a old school Volunteers hat, got from my dad probably, and then Tennessee shirt as well. So, yep.
Yeah, we were all very, very. I mean, aside from Zach and Eric having to be upset that I got 5 points, we were all very happy at the result of that game. It was a pretty crazy game. Tennessee looked to be out of it after that strip sack return, but or not even a strip sack. It was like a missed handoff or something.
Yeah, fumbled, handoff.
Yeah. So that was good though. Got 5 points there. I also got Seattle over Arizona in the NFL for a 2-pointer. That was a very low-scoring game, but Arizona couldn't get anything going on offense, and Seattle was able to get it going late. They got the 10-point win there. My 2 misses were both from college. The first was they were both 3-pointers as well. The first was USC over Utah. That, unfortunately, I thought I was going to get that one right too, but Utah ended up getting a 2-point conversion at the end of the game to win by 1 point. So that was a bit heartbreaking. And then Florida State over Clemson. Zach suggested to me that if I want Clemson to lose this year, I need to stop picking against them on the lock board because I think this is the 3rd time I've done this now and they still haven't lost.
Yeah.
So, and that game was never close. Clemson pretty easily handled Florida State. So it's gotten progressively worse. The first time I did it, it was an overtime loss, and then each time the margin's getting bigger. So, but Zach, how'd your week go?
Yeah, well, speaking of that, I've got kind of a similar case going on with the Eagles in the NFL. I've picked the team the Eagles are playing the last 3 weeks. Started with the Jaguars, Cardinals. This week I picked Cowboys on Monday Night Football. They lost. Or Sunday Night Football. That wasn't good. I also lost Kansas over Oklahoma. That was my first pick. That was a shootout game, but really Kansas, their defense just didn't show up in that game. The offense was fine, but Oklahoma, they got their offense running, and they won that pretty easily. Oklahoma State and TCU, I thought I had I was excited. I got some Big 12 games. I felt confident about knowing the Big 12, and I got that one wrong. It was an overtime loss, so can't really be too mad about that because it went to overtime. But still, would have been nice to have a 6 this week instead of a 3. But the one game I did get right, the New York Giants beat the Ravens. That was another game I felt good about. The Giants, they look for real this year. The Ravens, something's off with them. They're blowing leads, so it'll be interesting to see going forward the games that the Ravens are favored in if I keep picking the underdogs to win those games. But
Yeah, well, no complaints here about the Ravens blowing leads.
yeah.
um, yeah, no, so definitely, I'll take a look at Eric's here now for him. So his first pick was the New York Jets over the Green Bay Packers for a 5-pointer. That was definitely a surprising result. The Jets pretty easily handled Green Bay up in Lambeau. I thought, I was considering that one, but I didn't think that the Jets would win by that much, given how tough Green Bay is at Lambeau. So the Packers really on the struggle bus right now. I talked about that in the last podcast episode with Aaron Rodgers. Then he also got a 2-pointer in the second round with another NFL one, the Patriots over the Cleveland Browns. I think that was also surprising how lopsided that was. I thought the Browns I picked them to win that game, but the Patriots with Bailey Zappi still undefeated as a starting quarterback really handled them. And then he took the Jaguars over the Colts as a 2-pointer. That was a really close game that the Colts managed to go down the field and get a game-winning touchdown at the end. And then his last pick was definitely his worst one. He took Penn State over Michigan, and that was a complete blowout. Michigan thoroughly handled Penn State. So, but all in all, a good week. Like I said, we got 5 out of 12. Could have easily been like 7 or 8 out of 12 had a couple games gone the other way. But that being said, Zach, you have the first pick this week. I'll go ahead and switch over to the spreads here. And as a result of this, it'll be Zach picking first, then we'll have Eric picking from his mystery board that we have not seen, and then I'll make my pick. So, Zach, where are we going first? Are we going to continue down the 5-point first pick trend?
I think we are. Yep, NBA picks also available for the first time, like I talked about last week. But yeah, Connor talked about not, or he was picking against, teams playing Clemson. I'm not even going to let him have that opportunity. I'm taking Syracuse to beat Clemson. If you told me at the start of the year this would be a 5-pointer that I would take, I would say you're crazy. There must be like no options on the board at all. But, Syracuse, they have something special cooking this year. I think Clemson, they've had some close games. They do look like a really good, legit team, but I think, Syracuse is a team that will give them trouble. Connor, he's gotten it wrong every time he's picked against Clemson, but, someone else doing it now. So Clemson should watch out. Syracuse, go orange. Wearing orange right now. So
I believe me, I sure hope that you're right there because I can't stand Clemson being undefeated right now. So, but yeah, I might have picked that one later, but not really a snipe there for me. I guess we'll find out what Eric did first. So Eric's first pick that we're going to reveal here is I don't have the necessary stuff here. Ole Miss over LSU for a 2-pointer. Interesting. Let me go up here really quick. I don't know what's going on. But yes, Ole Miss over LSU for a 2-pointer. I'm surprised Eric is being conservative this early on. Definitely, we've been used to all taking 5-pointers here pretty early on, but Eric going with the conservative approach probably wouldn't be my choice, but I'll let him keep doing that.
Well, yeah, looking here, Eric's not very good in picking in the SEC. I made some little stats. I do have to update it from last week's stuff, but yeah.
Oh, I think I updated it for you.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
I just saw the 20 up there, so I didn't know. But yeah, 104 in the SEC for Eric this year. Hopefully that trend continues for us. But I do think for a 2-pointer, that is a pretty good one that he has. But
yeah. Undo. Okay. Well, I'm not going to be able to get that bigger, but it's okay.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that must be the biggest. I don't know what. Oh, it's the first column. Never mind. Sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird stuff here, but anyway. Yeah, this is like a really tough. Zach and I were talking before we started. This is a very thin board this week. There's not a whole lot that jumps out as good value. But that being said, I think I'm going to go with a 3-pointer to start. And I'm going to go ahead and take Oklahoma State to beat Texas. I think Texas is getting. I know Oklahoma State had that loss to TCU, but I think they're kind of really overrating Texas because of that big win over Oklahoma, even though Oklahoma is pretty garbage this year. So I think that'll be a good value at the 3-pointer there for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I agree. That could definitely go either way.
All right, Zach, pick number 2.
All right, so I'm also going 3-pointer in this. There's a few that I'm close. I'm torn between which one. I don't have a dead set. I gotta have this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'll take the first NBA game of the lockboard year. I'm gonna take the Spurs to beat the Pacers. I think those are two of the worst teams in the NBA right now. It's the season's early here. We don't really know, but Spurs and Pacers, both of these are bad teams. So I think the Spurs definitely have a legit chance of winning this game just because Indiana's so bad. I know the Spurs are bad, but they're pretty evenly matched. So that's why I'm going Spurs.
Yeah, well, the Spurs, they got beat at home pretty handily by the Hornets in their first game, so guess we'll find out. All right, moving on to Eric. Pick number 2. We have the Toronto Raptors over the Brooklyn Nets for a 3-pointer. So Eric getting his first NBA pick here.
That's a good one, I think, Eric. I know you don't have anything to say to that right now, but
you get the stamp of approval from Zach when you watch this later. So NBA is definitely interesting right now because it's one of those things, like, since we're so early on, it's so tempting to take some of these picks. Like, even these 5-pointers are somewhat intriguing because you just, like, who knows? The Magic have a tendency to do well at the start of the year and then fall off later. So, like, you never know. But that being said, I think I will also go the NBA route here. And I'm going to take the Detroit Pistons to beat the New York Knicks. I think the Pistons are going to be one of those kind of under the radar teams this year that kind of fly in and does a lot better than everyone expects. And the Knicks really, they had expectations last year and didn't perform up to those expectations. And it's the Knicks, so who knows what's going to happen there.
Yeah, I think that's good. Detroit's pretty good. I watched them last night. They came back from a pretty big early deficit. I thought they easily could have just given up, thrown in the towel, but they fought back, even got a halftime lead. So Detroit's pretty good. Yeah, like you said, Detroit sports teams in general, I think, are on the rise. Except maybe the Tigers. I don't know. Baseball stuff.
Well, I don't think they're, but we'll see how the Red Wings are getting better for sure.
Yeah.
So, and the Lions as well. So yeah, something to root for, Detroit.
Yep. All right. So the Raptors Nets was one I contemplated, like Eric took, but I'm gonna go 3-pointer again here, and I'm gonna take UCLA to beat Oregon. It's gonna be a battle of top 10 teams in this matchup. Chip Kelly revenge game as well. But UCLA, I think they're the slightly better team, but I also think Oregon's being a little bit overrated. I think Bo Nix is he's inconsistent. I think he's gonna have a bad game. I trust UCLA more. I think they're the better team at the moment. So feel good about that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. That was another one of those. We talked about this before, how sometimes I get spreads that are surprising. I was pretty surprised to see Oregon was favored by 6.5.
Yes,
I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. So yeah, that was definitely on my radar as well. But let's see. Eric has yet to be sniped, so he's got a good track record of not getting sniped in these. Let's see. And he's not getting sniped again. He's going with the Chicago Bulls over the Washington Wizards, which our closest spread of the week, which is basically a 1-point spread that I saw. So Eric is going with basically the pick'em game here. So I guess I can't fault him for that one. But
I think he did this last time he wasn't on stream too. Is he seemed to pick a lot of like 2 and 3 point games.
Trying to not get sniped. I mean, to be fair, there's not really a whole lot of good 5-pointers this week, so
yeah,
it doesn't really surprise me. Okay, I'm also going to head over to the NFL for a 2-point. Well, NFL. I'm going to head over to the 2-point range, is what I meant to say, and I'm going to go to the NFL. I'm going to take the other 1-point spread we have this week and go with the New York Jets over the Denver Broncos. The Jets are definitely on the rise. The Broncos, I'm not sure I see that offense getting its act together anytime soon. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take the New York Jets on the road. Definitely will be a good warm-up game for them because I know in a couple weeks they're going to have to play the Buffalo Bills. So that'll definitely really tell us if the Jets are for real or not when they play them.
Yep, and most weeks I'm excited for this 4th round. I still think there's good games out there. I really don't want to make a pick here in the 4th round. I feel like, oh man, this is not good stuff. But I'll go 2-pointer. I want to feel, have even better odds to get some points this week without, being cheap and getting a 1-pointer. So.
Sure you don't want to take Bama over Mississippi State?
Yeah. With my luck, Mississippi State would win that, even though I'd root for Mississippi State. But I'm going to pick the team I'm picking here is going to be a team I'm rooting for. I'll take Portland to beat Phoenix. I didn't watch any of Portland's game, but from what I saw, the analysis that I read and heard about, the defense looked really good for Portland, which is something that they've struggled with. The rookie Shaden Sharp had a really good first game.
UNC boy?
No, he was actually Kentucky.
I know. I'm thinking of a different Sharp. I don't know why I said that. Okay. But there's a different Sharp that got. Why am I forgetting his name now? But I'm thinking of
Nasir Little.
Y'all have Nasir Little. That's right. You do have a UNC player, but
yeah. But yeah, and so I think Portland can definitely win that. They tend to have slow starts at the beginning of the year, but they're starting out 1-0. I think they'll get to 2-0. So
82-0, here they come.
Yeah.
I know. I remember last year when the Hurricanes started 10-0, and then all the fans were so distraught when we lost that first game. I'm like, bro, did you really think we were going 82-0? That's not happening.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Eric, can he make it a perfect sweep of not getting sniped? He does not. He wanted to go for the Jets over the Broncos, but that unfortunately has already been taken by me. So I'm glad Eric at least didn't, get that there. Next pick. Ooh, sniped again. Oklahoma State over Texas. Oh, Eric, you're starting to run out of picks now. Now's when the snipes are coming.
Yeah. This is why we fill out 10 picks here, is for stuff like this right now.
Right. Let's see. All right. So he's going with an NBA 5-pointer with the Utah Jazz over the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's definitely interesting. I mean, I guess on paper, the Timberwolves are a lot better than the Jazz, but it's also early in the season, so it might take some time for the Timberwolves to really, get in sync with everything going on there. So,
and Utah beat Denver last night too, which was pretty crazy. So anything can happen, but just on paper, like you said, that's a
mismatch.
Mismatch, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, the Timberwolves, they got Karl-Anthony Towns. He can shoot that 3-pointer. I don't know why Eric didn't take that into consideration.
Yeah. Also the Rudy Gobert revenge game too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so I got the last pick, and I do want to grab a 5-pointer. I don't want to go a week without a 5-pointer, but I figured that not really any of these would get taken, so I figured I could wait till now. I'm torn between 2 NFL 5-pointers. Because as much as I want to go with the Steelers over the Dolphins, I don't know if I feel as comfortable about that, as I'm going to go ahead and take the Detroit Lions to beat the Dallas Cowboys. I know Dak Prescott's coming back, but Detroit's definitely looking to rebound after that horrible performance they had against the Patriots, and Dallas finally got a loss with Cooper Rush under center, so it's going to be interesting to see if they lose this game, depending on how Dak performs, if the fans are going to start calling for Cooper Rush again. But I think Detroit's high-octane offense is going to work out there pretty good. All right, so we have our board. Zach, recap for the fans what your picks were.
Yep. So first round, the first pick I had was a 5-pointer. Only a total of 3 5-pointers made this lockboard draft. So that just shows you how much we didn't really like things. But I took Syracuse to beat Clemson. Big game for both these teams here. Lot on the line. I think Syracuse is just going to have the emotional edge to beat Clemson. And then my second round, I went with an NBA game. I took the Spurs to beat the Pacers. 2 bad teams playing each other. Nobody's going to be watching this other than the fans of these teams and people that have money on the line. So, you probably won't hear too much about this on SportsCenter. But, yeah, I'm taking the Spurs to win that. UCLA, people will be watching this game. I picked UCLA to beat Oregon. I think Oregon's Bo Nix is a little inconsistent. I like UCLA's offensive attack better. And I took Portland actually to beat Phoenix in a 2-point matchup. I think Portland starting off the season pretty solid and like their chances.
All right. Oh yeah, I had that backwards. Whoopsies. Well, let's see. Before I recap Eric, let's take a look and see what his other picks would have been here. I know what his 10th pick was going to be because he wanted me to verify that, but let's see. It looks like. So he did have UCLA over Oregon right here, but that was after a Memphis over Tulane, and then looks like he ended it with 2 1-pointers. I know Eric likes to do that when he sets up his picks with 1-pointers, so didn't get to that though. But Eric, he went ahead with his first pick and took Ole Miss over LSU, so he started off with a 2-pointer. Then he went and had 2. Then his last 3 picks were all NBA picks. So Eric going NBA heavy here, playing to his strengths. I know he's not huge into college, so it's not surprising per se.
Yeah.
He's got the Raptors over the Brooklyn Nets, the Chicago Bulls over the Washington Wizards, and the Utah Jazz with the 5-pointer over the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Rudy Gobert revenge game. And then for my picks here, so I have my first pick, Oklahoma State over Texas, trying to break the curse of the Big 12 on the lockboard that came last week. I think OK State can do it at home. Texas is on the road. And like I said, I think Texas has gotten overrated since that win over Oklahoma. Then I've got an NFL 2-pointer with the New York Jets over the Denver Broncos. Like I said, I think it's going to take a while for the Broncos to get that offense sorted, whereas the Jets seem like they have everything together. And their defense has gotten a lot better. So I think I like the Jets to win that. And then I didn't even realize this until I looked over my picks again, but I got 2 Detroit upsets happening here in my lockboard. Never thought I'd say that. But the first one for 3 points in the NBA, we have the Detroit Pistons over the New York Knicks. Like I said, I think the Knicks are going to get beaten that one. And then finally, with my 4th round pick with a 5-pointer, I've got the Detroit Lions beating them boys at Jerry's World. Go Lions. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Lockboard, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We're counting down to the end of Clutch Crew Sports, so make sure you guys tune in. You don't want to miss these episodes. The Lockboard, you don't want to miss these either, so that way you can stay up to date. And Zach, I will let you close it out.
Yep, guys. As always, remember, be clutch.
For Eric, peace.